Marlon Humphrey of the Baltimore Ravens left today's game with a non-contact lower leg injury. And as of right now, there is some speculation as to what's going on with his injury, with some sources reporting it as a foot injury and other sources classifying it as an ankle injury. Now, what's concerning about this one is that the mechanism of injury is actually consistent with an Achilles injury, and there are a couple attributes of the injury video that make me believe that, and that's something I want to focus on with today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Gallo, and I'm a doctor of physical therapy, and with my channel, I take a look at sports injuries, and I explain them so that they're a little bit easier to understand. I also go over the relevant anatomy, and I also talk about what that person should expect when in rehab. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more of it, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because I will be making more of these videos in the future regarding sports injuries, rehabilitation, and other physical therapy related content. Also, if you have any comments or questions, please leave those in the comment section below. Now we can see here on the injury video that as Humphrey is going to push off with that right foot, that's when he's going to get tripped up. And at the end here, this is where we see him grabbing more of that posterior calf or Achilles area. So here I have a model of the foot and ankle, and so for the sake of this video, we're going to focus more on the posterior or the back portion in through here. Now that Achilles tendon is going to come down and attach onto this calcaneus bone here, and it's actually formed up of three muscles. So the first muscle is that big calf muscle known as the gastrocnemius, that's going to come down, as well as the soleus muscle, which is slightly deeper to that. And finally, we have a muscle called the plantaris muscle, which is quite small, but they're all going to come together and form that Achilles tendon, which will come down and attach onto that calcaneus. The Achilles tendon and calf musculature are going to be involved in a lot of those explosive movements at the foot and ankle, where the foot is going to go into plantar flexion. So anytime those calf muscles are going to contract, they're going to plantar flex the foot, and we see them get activated in things such as sprinting, pushing off, cutting, jumping, etc. The opposite motion of plantar flexion is going to be dorsiflexion, where the foot's going to be coming up this way, and that is essentially going to stretch all of those muscles in the calf as well as the Achilles tendon. The first attribute of this injury video that makes me think that there is more of an Achilles injury here is the fact that it's non-contact. A lot of times these Achilles injuries happen when there is no contact with any other player or anything along those lines, and we've seen that several times this year. So that's attribute number one. The second attribute is we've seen this a lot so far this season, where guys are running, whether they be sprinting or they are putting that foot through more dorsiflexion than they can handle. And when this happens, we have seen several instances where that Achilles tendon is going to do a full rupture, where we see that calf muscle recoil. I don't quite see it on this video because this isn't the best angle, but that's the second attribute that makes me think that the Achilles is involved here. And finally, the third attribute is the fact that he is grabbing exactly where that Achilles tendon is. So it looks like right here that after he has gone down, he's grabbing that back lower portion of the calf where that Achilles tendon is located. If this were an ankle injury, he would be grabbing a lot lower, somewhere around the lateral or medial malleolus, and we would have seen that foot and ankle go either in inversion or eversion or any sort of rotational component going through the foot. So I don't really see that in this video. So those so far are the reasons as to why I think this is an Achilles injury. We have a quick test that we can do to determine if we think someone is dealing with an Achilles injury, and that's called the Thompson test. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to have the person prone, we're going to squeeze that musculature of the calf there, and if a person has an intact Achilles tendon, then that foot is going to plantar flex downwards. And likewise, if they do have a rupture, then that foot is not going to move at all. So this is a quick on the field or in the clinic test. The gold standard, of course, is the MRI, and that takes me to the grading system of these Achilles injuries. In a grade 1 Achilles injury, this is where you're getting stretching of the Achilles tendon. In a grade 2, this is where you're getting partial tearing. And finally, in a grade 3, this is where you're getting a full rupture. So in order to determine what rehab is going to look like for him and how long he's going to be out, we're going to need a little bit more information. So hopefully we have those MRI results. But in the meantime, we hope for one of those lower grade Achilles injuries, and hopefully it's not going to sideline him for too long. If I happen to hear any updates regarding his case, I'll be sure to update everybody in the comments section. Also, if you happen to hear anything, please feel free to update me as well. So we wish Marlon Humphrey the best of luck moving forward. Thank you again for tuning into my channel today. If you like this content and you enjoy this video, I'm going to go ahead and link another one of my playlists so that you can watch some of the videos that I've essentially done in the past. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.